if I push you, you should fall over.
How's my
You're like, so you're Mexican Irish, you're from the Bronx, and your father was a cop, and you fight. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that kind of was like, all right, jump rope. I know I'm on my feet. I almost punched you in the face.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the On Track with Annie podcast. Today we're with Maureen Shea, world champion pro boxer. And today she's gonna show me a thing or two about boxing. So let's get into it. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. And so we're gonna start with some jump rope.
Oh God, I need to tie my shoes.
Yes,
yes. Double knot them.
Make sure.
Okay.
I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not gonna let you stop until you get it right.
I'm not good at this at all. Jump rope is not my forte, but.
Then watch, she's gonna be doing double unders and stuff and just like flipping the rope.
So how did you get into this? When did you start
So
boxing?
I started when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
So I sucked shoe at one point, so don't feel bad, okay? Everybody starts somewhere.
Did you do sports before 17?
I did, but I wasn't good at team sports.
Okay.
Because I was like too aggressive and I was very like over competitive with myself. And I was always like if I didn't get it right, then it's like the perfectionist comes out. If I didn't get it right, then I was like, what the hell? So I found boxing. Actually, I was in an abusive relationship when I was 17.
Oh my God, this is what leads to boxing.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, amongst other things, but yeah, so I went to the gym to actually better myself from my abuser at the time. And then I went to the back and there was a boxing ring. And I was like, oh, I had seen Tyson. Well, this is funny because I tell people that, oh, I saw Tyson Holyfield, but it actually wasn't the fight. I saw Tyson bite Holyfield's ear. And I connected with the rage and the anger because I felt like this inside of me. I know this sounds psycho.
This sounds like a perfect story leading to boxing.
Yeah. But I was like 15. I think I was like 15 when that happened. I'm aging myself. But so when I saw that, and then I went to the back and I saw the boxing ring, I remembered that feeling, that connecting feeling that I felt with this rage inside of me. This I wasn't able to get it out or verbalize it. So then when I found boxing and I started working out, hit the bag, and I just fell in love with it. But I'll show you how I said. Well, let me see I'll show you how I started jumping rope like this, which is how most people start. But
like
that's
very
not
knee
it.
heady.
That's not it. It's here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
you want to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Okay,
Muhammad
float
Ali.
like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
There you go.
Am I supposed to do things with my feet, like fancy things?
So keep going. So what I like to do is I like to shift. So in boxing, don't whip yourself.
I can't even get
You're
10.
glad you don't have shorts on because I whip myself, and these are unforgiving ropes. So in boxing, you're here. Okay. So you're bouncing in and out. So don't pick up that back foot. So you want to stay kind of like you're hovering when you jump rope.
Okay.
So you're here when you jump rope. So in here, you're boxing back and forth. Boxing's a rhythm. But you see how you're just doing like this? You want to shift, 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 shift. But keep your weight centered.
Okay. Am I doing it?
So yeah, that's it. It's good. Don't pick up your toes.
It's good.
Don't pick up your toes because you never want. It's almost like when you're a runner.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're running, you don't really want a heel strike.
Right.
Right. So it's the same thing with boxing. You never want a heel strike. You want to stay on your toes, but shift it.
Oh, like all the weight on one foot, all the weight on the back foot. Okay.
But you're controlling that rhythm.
This is like a speed skater. Do you do the speed skaters in training to work on it?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's start like how I missed that too. Let's start how you were starting. Now we're gonna tap your toe. Tap your toe. See? It looks easier than it is. Yep. No, but you're fine. But the thing is that you got to think about what you do and how you're translating.
Okay.
Nobody does that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Nobody walks like this. But in boxing, that's how you have to walk.
Okay.
So it kind of so what I like to do is I like to start with jump rope just so people can find their rhythm.
Yeah.
So if I was to say you were going to come in and train with me, right? I say, okay, this is what I want you to start with jumping rope.
Okay.
And I'd get your rhythm down with the rope so you understand weight distribution. So you're jumping rope, so where's your weight? Your weight's in the middle. Now I'm shifting it hip to hip. Okay. It's still in the middle, but I'm shifting it hip to hip.
She's like...
Yeah, but you're kicking. Everybody does it.
That's so interesting. This is so much harder than I thought.
Yeah.
Like just simple jumping rope.
Yep.
I need to get some of these.
And then you want to get fancy? You can. You can get fancy with it. You can. When did you start jumping rope? When you started boxing? So I jumped rope for oh my God, I had to jump because I was around.
I feel like you have to do it for hours a day.
But I did. So I did it. I actually got really good at it because that's really all I really did in the beginning. Because not that nobody would pay attention to me, but I was the girl. I was the young girl. And women's boxing, this is.
So you're like, let me get good at jump rope and impress everyone.
Yeah, this is. No, I was really good at the speed bag too because they just left me on the rope. Or they left me on the, just hit the bag.
They're like, go in the corner at the back.
And I think my perfection attitude was like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this.
I love that.
And so I just kept doing it. But I'm glad I did because I found I realized how resilient I was because I wouldn't stop until I got it. And then I was like, all right, what's next? Okay, speed bag. I'm not gonna stop till I get it. Okay. Then learning how to wrap my own hands. I'm not gonna stop till I get it. And everything in boxing became, I'm not gonna stop until I get it. So it was boxing where it was like, it's almost like the emotion where I was like, it almost made me angry that I couldn't get it. That I was so angry that I was like, I have to get it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's funny because when I do like ball slams are my favorite, or like throwing when I strength and conditioning, I do that. And I'm like, oh, I love ball slams. I love like, because I get to like, it's almost
Says
like
no one ever.
I know, right? I know. But it's really that, you know what I mean? So I think the boxing and the rhythm. I'm Mexican Irish. I love to dance. I've always liked to dance, and I dance salsa. So I love, salsa's here, and but it's in the hips.
That's why she can jump rope like this.
That too, but it's light on your feet. I didn't always know how to dance. I didn't know how to dance salsa when I was 17. I had rhythm, but I think that you can get rhythm through the jump rope. Like you develop your own rhythm.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with
repetition.
Boxing, and the whole thing with boxing, say you and I are gonna fight each other, I'm gonna try to break your rhythm, and I don't want you to catch my rhythm. It's a timing thing.
Yeah.
So you have to stay true to your rhythm and your style, and then make adjustments and adapt where needed, but you always wanna keep the other person guessing.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not like we're dance partners,
yeah,
but we're doing kind of different dances.
I see. Okay. Do you like fighting someone completely new then?
Well, sparring and fighting is different.
Okay.
So fighting, obviously, I'm actually competing. You know what I mean? Sparring is more training.
Okay.
So I like to spar different people, but I do whatever's available at the time, and also depending on the opponent that I'm fighting. So if I'm fighting somebody that's, say your height, I'd want to obviously get somebody with height and length.
Yeah.
So if it's available. If not, then I have to make the work for me. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much what I do when I'm, jumping rope. It's just a rhythm thing.
Okay.
And I explain to you why you do it. Now we can do some footwork. So what you really want to do, like the ultimate goal for those watching that want to figure out how to do this and want to try it, and if Annie wants to go home and get better at it, so it's really here. So you never want to see, you're kind of lifting, and a lot of people do that. It's very common. There you go. So it's kind of just lifting the knees, but pointing the toes. See? You're kind of riding a bike. So I think that's because you're sprinting.
I know, I'm used to like hip extension.
And then, it's like here, because you're more of like that movement.
And then squatting, I always feel like it's heels. So I'm used to like, it's weird when it comes to gym
So
stuff.
the thing with squatting that I love, and that I love my strength and conditioning, because when I'm squatting, if I'm here, same thing. But I think about it in boxing, I'm just turning my knees out here, and I'm hinging here. So this is my stance.
Yeah.
So if I know somebody's more of does strength and conditioning or does lifting, I would say, okay, think about your slight hinge, and now your knees are going out, because you don't want to be here, you want to be out here.
Right.
Now your weight evenly distributed. There you go, that's it. But it's very backwards, because you're used to this.
Yeah.
Now I'm telling you to go like this, and like this.
It's like lateral, yeah. So you turn your hips
Now,
slightly.
are you righty or lefty?
Right.
So, okay, so now you want to actually turn, so your jab is going to be your left foot. So you right with your right hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so then turn.
Oh.
There you go, that's your stance.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a southpaw, so if you're right with your left hand, but I switch sometimes, you can do both. You'd be here. This is called southpaw stance, okay?
Interesting.
This is called orthodox stance.
So your front foot front foot slightly in front.
So this is what I like to say is, and actually when my coach told me this, Derek, you want each car to have its own lane. So you don't want to be completely like this, but you want the toe to kind of have its own lane.
Okay, I see.
So you want to be here, okay, just like that. But you don't want your toe to point that direction. You want it to be slightly turned, because now what are you going to do? So when you step forward, you usually go like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now in boxing you push and step. So this push first. Think push, step. That's it.
Okay.
Okay?
Push
and
in the
then
back.
push back. So do 2 steps forward. So go 1, then again 2. But keep now see your weight's kind of like, you don't want to be here. You want to be here, here. That's it.
Okay.
That's it, okay? Now let's step to the right. Now if you're gonna step to the right, get in your stance.
Same stance.
Now step to your right. Let me see how you do it. No, to your right, like that way. That was
This
right
way?
going backwards, yeah.
Like, where's my right? I don't even.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is, I like to tell people to do it and just kind of see what they do. So what you're gonna do here is it's like you're stepping, and then you never want to cross. That's the whole point. You want to step, you're going right,
Oh,
right
I see,
foot
like that.
first.
Okay.
And then
The wall's about to be broken down. Are
they're
they
fighting
actually?
over there.
Are they-
I actually did not know what was going on over there. Now you're gonna go, relax your shoulders right here, okay? So now you're gonna go forward. Now I want you to step with the punch. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push the back leg, step with the front leg, and you're gonna punch simultaneously. Beautiful, that's it. But turn the punch over.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're not gonna punch like this. We're not gonna do this, we're gonna do that.
Gotta be terrible with those.
Perfect, no, you're strong, you're good, that's good. Don't rush it. Do one and then one, singles. One, one. Dude, that's great.
Okay.
Like honestly, like I'm impressed right now. So when I first started boxing, all I knew was slip, slip, 1-2. That's all I know.
Slip, 1-2.
That's defensive, okay? So
kind of cool.
So slip, slip. So why slip, slip? Why do you think you slip?
I don't know, I like the sound of it.
Oh, okay. Defense. Okay, so punching is offense, okay? But defense is slipping. I'm a very defensive fighter, and I fight with rhythm. So I like to set my rhythm here, and then I punch off the rhythm, okay? But what we're gonna do with you, we're gonna do slip, right hand, slip, straight jab.
So you turn your hips a little when you do it?
Yes. So I like to it's not like a squat, it's almost like a hinge right hand, but you want to turn. When you punch, you want to, there you go. And then you're gonna go slip here. So here, you want to almost, it's a rotation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna straight looking at the camera, right? So I'm here, right? I'm fighting the camera. I'm gonna slip, I'm still looking at the camera, and I'm gonna come back with the punch. Yep.
Other way.
That's it. But you don't want to come straight up. You see how you're like locking it out?
Okay, yeah.
You want to be like here, keep my knees bent still.
Why, the
back.
other way is hard.
But see, yes, because why?
Okay.
Because you got to rotate. So now I'm rotating, okay, but I'm looking that way. And now I'm throwing this. That's it, but don't come all the way up.
Okay.
Turn the hip, look at my hip. Better, much better.
So wait, I heard you had like a very strict Irish father.
Oh my God,
right?
Yes. My dad was a retired detective, NYPD. So
Oh my God,
parents,
so this is all making sense now.
yeah, now it's like, oh no wonder.
Like that's why.
So when I was younger, they're like, so you're Mexican Irish, you're from the Bronx, and your father was a cop. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, and you fight. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that kind of was like, I was literally born for this.
Well, did they do any sort of like sports or
No,
anything?
so my parents had me older. They had me later in life. So my brother's 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So my mom was 38 when she had me. My dad was 41. So I was raised super old school.
No, but that's good.
Yeah.
So did they watch a lot of your fights growing up? They hated it.
They didn't support. I mean, support and like they didn't. That wasn't my father's choice for me in life. And he says that I fought at Madison Square Garden. And they interviewed him in the crowd, and he was like, "So was this your?" He would sit there at my fights like this and just not make no expression. And he's
Why
like,
does that sound like a typical,
like a typical
like,
Irish father? You know, like this is not what I. But mind you, you gotta remember where women's boxing is today. It was nowhere near this.
Oh, so it was kind of like odd for you to go into it.
So when I took, oh yeah. Well,
okay.
I was definitely like one of the. There was like a handful. Like all I knew was like Christy Martin and Layla Ali because of Muhammad Ali, like Thea Riker, like. They weren't really like, it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
So back then I was like, all right. And then I ended up one gym and then I ended up having to find another gym because not that my coach there, Willie Soto, who I still speak to today, he gave me the opportunity, but like I was still like the outcast. So I ended up going to Gleason's gym, which is a world famous gym in Brooklyn. And I trained with Hector Roca, who was a very renowned coach there. And there were other females there and I actually got to work with she at the time, I don't know how many world titles she had then, but she ended up becoming a 6-time world champion.
Wow.
And she's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest female champion, male and female.
That's crazy.
Active, like, so she was 50, I think she was 50 years old and she was a world champion. Yeah, Alicia Ashley.
That's motivation.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And the cool thing is she just joined my camp recently. So now she's been, my last fight, she was one of my coaches.
Do you think she's a lot slower or was she not? She had the same speed? At that age.
Oh no. She was slick. Well, her name was Slick. Oh, she could move. You would
That's
never know.
the first thing people think about is like, oh, with age they're slower.
But I'm faster. I'm
That's
44
crazy.
and
Wow.
I'm faster now, but it's how you train.
Yeah.
So I train fast twitch. Everything I do, I make sure I do everything. I keep my fast twitch going.
Wow.
So like, you know, as a runner and as with that stuff, like I have to keep my, I have to make sure that everything I do or my hand-eye coordination, like I just make sure everything's kind of right.
Yeah.
But she had such a style and such a technique about her. I mean, her style was like, she was a southpaw, which is way more different. So if you're an orthodox, so face me here. So put your left foot forward, like your stance. Okay, put your hands up. So now if I'm a southpaw, I'm gonna be here.
Okay.
So now you have to keep that foot outside of my foot, and I'm gonna try to keep my foot outside of your foot.
Okay.
So that's and so now you gotta think about more than just, if I'm here, okay, that's easy. You don't gotta worry about the feet so much. But here, it's a lot more. So you're my power punch, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here. Everything's here. My power punch is here. Your power punch is over there. So I want to stay away from your power punch. You want to stay away from my power punch.
Okay.
So you want to stay outside. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, but that's a move.
Okay.
That's a move. Look at that. See? So what you would do is, go ahead, step
Like hitting
back, and then,
over
but that's
your
correct
forehead?
though. You go back, and then you could come back with a jab. So if I throw a jab, and then you come back. But if I step back, then you got to step in.
Not with that
No,
foot.
with this foot.
Oh, this
You're
is
not
the
MMA. Don't kick me. Yeah, totally
Down
different.
kick.
My legs don't come off the floor. I don't kick. You don't. So the first one you're gonna miss. The second one you're gonna hit me. But you're not gonna step my foot. But if you do, it's okay too. But see what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing with boxing is figuring out, okay, if the person steps back once, so not only do you have to focus on what you're doing, you got to see where the opportunity to land your punches is. So boxing is very methodical and it's very calculated, and it's a lot of this. Like your brain, the conversations I have with myself in like one round.
Yeah, that I'm always interested about that.
I think my ADHD helps me with that.
Like, are you like, what are they gonna do? What are they like? What goes through your head?
Well, so for me, I feel rhythm. So I see like, okay, so like say, okay, you're fighting.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna spar you, okay, I'm obviously gonna work with you because you have no experience. So if I'm working with you, I'm gonna see, okay, you're wild though. You don't know control, you don't know, so I have to really watch my defense.
Yeah, okay.
So sometimes when you spar with somebody who doesn't have experience and you can't like hit them hard, which is what happened. I worked on $1 Million Baby. So I worked with Hillary Swank for that. So I was 24 years old. And the reason that I believe that the reason that Hector put me with Hillary to work with her was because we were similar sizes, but also because I had the control where I knew how to control my punches. I work with kids, I'd spar, because I find you can really make work with anybody. You know, as long as you're trying to work on what you're working on and controls. And I still do it now. You know, anything I do, I can go up or I can go down. So with somebody like her, I would have to like be really careful. I would use more parries. If she threw a jab, I'd work on my timing, my defense. But I knew I could just touch her. You know, I knew how to like control it with the speed without actually putting a power behind it.
How long did that take to train her?
So she worked for 6 months, but she had to put on weight. She was very lean, so she had to put on some muscle, and she had to strength train for that as well as eating. And then her boxing was about 6 months, but she was so dedicated. She was like in the gym like 5 days a week. She was taking the train every day. And back then, people really didn't know her, even though she already had an Oscar for Boys Don't Cry.
That's crazy.
It was so humbling. Like it was really such a life lesson for me to just see how she just carried herself.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like the plasticity of Hollywood. It was like super genuine, authentic, and she really committed. I think her roles, in my opinion, the dramatic roles that she played were probably the best roles because she's got so much heart and passion. And she, like, when I saw her commit to that, I can only imagine she commits to her other roles like that.
Okay, so we put the gloves on.
So now you want to punch?
Yes.
She's like, all right, jump rope. I know how to move my feet. I almost punched you in the face. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these gloves on. These aren't the normal gloves that you hit with, but we're not gonna wrap your hands, so I'm gonna put these on.
Okay.
We're gonna hit a softer bag.
Okay.
You know, it's called a double end bag. Obviously, double end bag. Okay, so I like this bag because it's almost like a head and it reacts. So you'll see when you hit it what is gonna happen, and then you gotta be like, oh shit. Or maybe not.
Love it.
Watch it gonna be like pop, slip, pop, pop. I'm gonna be like, oh wait a minute, I'm a good teacher. Okay, so take your stance, put your hands up. So the jab is gonna find your distance. So the jab opens up, it's the key that unlocks the door.
Okay.
That's what we call it. So throw the jab, see where your distance is. Okay, so you wanna be right in front. So you saw what it did there? It moved, the bag. Okay, hit it again. Good, but you gotta come back. So a lot of people, they don't realize it's like a coil effect. No, you're gonna stay right here. You
so not moving my feet.
You got the reach.
Okay.
So you're gonna go here, you're here, and then you're just gonna pop. It's the hip. Pop. So the arm goes straight and the hip turns a little bit.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Do it again. Perfect. Okay. Now do that twice. Good. Okay, but you're gonna want to maybe step back a little bit because you got to reach. Because when you turn it, so if I go here, I can't reach it, right? But when I go here, I reach it.
So my hip is kind of.
So your hip's giving you a little bit more extension.
Okay.
Okay. So pop, pop. Yep. Good. Perfect. Yeah. Now you're gonna throw 1-2. So now it's gonna look like this. Watch my hips. Pop, pop. So pop, pop. Let the hip throw the punch. Take that. Beautiful. So what I want you to do is you're thinking a lot of upper body. I want you to think more keeping that center.
Hips, it's all on the hips.
So my issue is, see, you know how to like hinge. I end up like this, so I have to make sure that I'm always like this. That's my issue.
You want to be like this all the time.
You want to be like, I mean, you don't want to be too much.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't want to be here, because sometimes when
it's like snowboarding.
Yes.
I know.
So you want to be here. Pop, pop.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh my God, I'm like,
I was like, she's doing too good. I got to mess her up a little bit. Yeah. Now you look like, she looks like
How's my phone?
pop.
Okay, hold on.
Listen, the
is
hooks
hard.
are not easy.
Wait.
So we can hit this bag. So if you're here.
Now I want to get it. Now I know what you're saying.
You will, but I'm
get
gonna just trust me now. Yeah, exactly. That
mindset.
So stand right here. Okay. So what you're gonna do here, I don't want you to hit this bag hard because you don't have the wraps on and this is a hard bag.
Okay.
So I just want you to work on placement. So the jab, just go like this. So pop, pop. Yes, that's it. You felt the difference?
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, how do you stay alert then? If you're like dead, you're like, I've been through 8 weeks of.
So recovery
is
probably my biggest thing. For me personally, like I can only speak about myself, I manage my weight really well. I walk around at like 125. I don't like to go above, I fight at 118. I don't like to go above that. I used to fight at 122. When I was 122, I would stay around 128, 130.
Okay,
I like to stay within
close.
10 pounds of my weight.
Yeah.
Fully hydrated, eating right, you know, I mean, yeah.
Do you drink coffee? Caffeine?
In the morning, just one cup in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need coffee. You see this? This is one cup of
so
coffee.
Lucky. I feel like I would need like 17 energy drinks to be able to do this all day.
It's like, but you know what? But you know, it's like running though. And I'm sure when you love what you do, like I love it. I don't love the business. I don't love the garbage that goes into it.
Yeah.
But I love the training. I love teaching people. I love sharing what I've learned, how I've learned. Because then it's like I went through all of this to be able to. And that's why I love doing, you know, things like this, like podcasts and sharing with people, because then it's like, yeah. And maybe somebody out there that gets to see this wants to try boxing.
Yes.
Especially females. I mean, or guys, awesome. Like whatever. So you're gonna follow, so you're here, so you're gonna shuffle.
Okay.
Just like you were on your toes, you're not gonna be flat, you're gonna be soft knees, and you're gonna push with this leg to go that way. So shuffle, shuffle. Drop your hands, nice and relaxed, nice and loose. Shuffle, shuffle, don't cross. Okay, so you see how you're going here and then going?
Yeah.
I want you to, you see? There's always a space.
Oh, okay.
That's it, good, good. Stay sideways.
Okay.
Switch. So keep going, hands down, relaxed.
See, relax.
Looking forward.
Keyword, relax.
Soften knees a little bit more. There you go. Switch. Now you're gonna throw the double jab. Step, step. Don't rush it. No.
Too many feet.
Yes. You're like foot happy. It's okay. Stay low. Perfect. Now do the same thing. No, get back there. Stay there. You're gonna do the same thing going backwards.
Wait, I don't know.
You see? You see?
Oh my God, it's so hard.
It is. It's a coordination. It's a different type of coordination. Okay.
How long until I could become professional? Dang it.
But you know, it's interesting because I love seeing people from other sports come into this and do this because you're gonna work different muscles, you're doing different things. Like, you know, we spoke about our mutual friend, Kessie, and she's
so good.
She loved it, but like, you know how I saw her hitting the bag? One day she came in here, was she here? Yeah, she was working with somebody else. And I was just watching her and I was like, and I went up to her, I was like, how long you been doing this for? You know, but she had that she had the energy, energy of but she had that, I want to do it right. I want to learn. She loved it so much. And I loved working with her and I loved working with women like her because she did other things, but she loved the boxing, you know? But then I told her, I said, I just want to get you good enough so that you feel she could have fought amateur. I had her sparring amateur fighters.
Wow.
Like she was doing well, you know? And I was like, do you want to fight? I mean, then
I saw videos.
She helped me get ready she helped me in the beginning of my camp where I did defense with her, but then, you know, I popped her in her nose. And then she's like, I think I broke my nose. And I'm like, well, yeah. Now, but you know what? She didn't. And guess what though? It made her double think about, okay, wait a second.
Don't want to do this, yeah.
Like, cause I broke my nose like 5 or 6 times.
Well, you have to think about every side of everything you get into. Like,
but, you know, but we're older now. So like now, before I do things, I think about it and this is funny because when I was 17, I didn't think about my face.
Yeah.
I was so internal and struggling so much emotionally that when I found boxing, I just felt like, oh my God, like it was a medicine that I needed. And so I didn't think about anything else. But I was going to college and my father in my house, my dad, my Irish father, who was a cop, said, in this house you have to work and go to school. You can't do all three. So I boxed for the beginning, a part of my career, the beginning part of my boxing, I was 17, to prove my father wrong. That was my why. So, you know, in anything.
And you did.
Yeah. And your whys change. Your whys because then you have to rediscover your why as you reinvent yourself. So like I'm 44 now, I've been doing this since I was 17. Do you know how many times I reinvented myself and I had to rediscover my why? And I'm in a place now where like I know my why, but if my why it's not gonna evolve into it, then I have to change my why and change my direction.
God, that's some good quote right there. Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. I mean, when you do something for long enough, you kind of figure out every way of doing it. And then you're like, how can I morph this into something else to keep going?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
But
a
it's
long
life,
career.
but it's really life too. And it's like, I've gotten so much out of boxing for my life that I literally like, and I said this the other day in a post, I said, in a podcast, I said, my basket's so full. It's not about what do I do? It's about what do I want to do? Not what do I have, it's what do I want to do? Like, and I'm so grateful and I'm so full of that. But it's hard because sometimes it's like you might have to let go of boxing in order to go through this. And
With
that's
phases.
the part. That's the part.
I feel like you always come back to things though that you're really passionate about and you love, even if you have to give it up for a little bit.
You know, boxing will always be in my life, and you know, I'm not saying that I'm retiring, but I'm saying that like, you know, it comes to a point where you're like, if you know, it's the powers that be have more control over it's. I've done everything I can, and I was in programs, so I love this quote where it's like, just making sure your side of the street is clean.
Yeah.
I can't control the other person's side of the street or the other whatever it is side of the street, boxing side of the street. I can only control mine. I know that I'm ready. I know that I'm capable. I know that I'm able. But if the opportunities aren't there and they're maybe not coming to me, then I have to say, okay, and you know, God is my higher power. You know, He's the reason I got into boxing, and I say, you know, boxing is a gift from God, and what I do with it is my gift back to Him. And that's why I'm here today. So
I love that. Wow, I can't wait to see what else you do.
Thank you. Yeah, me
It's
too.
gonna be exciting. I'm gonna go on edge. Okay, how'd I do scale 1 to 10?
I would say you did. I'm tough. I'm a tough grader. I would say
You can be tough.
I would say a 7.
Wow, that's
7.
way
I would say
high.
7.
I'm so happy
I would
with
say
that.
7. No,
I was
because
gonna
you
go
know
with
what
like
is-
4.
But you know what is your no? I would say a 7. You're very coachable. I base it on
Okay.
certain things. So I'm gonna base it on coachability, and you're very
Okay.
coachable. And
Wow, I'm like
you've
so
got great
happy
energy.
with that score.
But you know what? But you're body conscious too. Your mind, you have a connection with your body. So I can correlate things like, okay, so you know when you're doing a squat, you're doing this. Like that's really important.
Okay, well, thank you. Where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, Maureen_Shea. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I do post a lot of my trainings and stuff like that. If you have any questions about my life or how I got into boxing or why or what I'm doing now, feel free to ask. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, what else is there? I have a YouTube
TikTok.
channel. Oh, no. I actually, you know what? I have a TikTok. It's actually pretty cool. I just don't go on it often. But I have some pretty cool videos of me hitting the bag and me doing some stuff on TikTok.
Okay,
that are-
some cool edits. Look
Yeah,
at that.
very cool edits. That's why I got on TikTok, is the edits.
All right, well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Annie.
And all the links will be in the description below.